I've often talked about, short of American energy independence, why not talk about North American energy independence? And I think this is a great hearing to delve into that. Today we meet to examine Mexico's energy reforms, their impact on Mexico's economy and the global energy market, ways these reforms might contribute to the North American energy independence. This is the second hearing on energy issues that this subcommittee has held this Congress, and I plan to continue the focus on energy as we move forward because I believe the energy opportunities that we have seen occurring in the Western Hemisphere have the potential to truly transform our region, lessen our dependence on the Middle East for our energy sources, and deepen our partnerships with like-minded countries to pursue greater security and prosperity. In particular, North America has experienced an incredible awakening in the energy sector with the United States oil and shale gas revolution, Canada's oil sands, and Mexico's energy reforms. Unfortunately, the State Department's long-delayed approval of the Keystone XL pipeline, which has languished for nearly 2,500 days and forced Canada to look toward Asia to meet its energy export demands, and denied the United States and Canada a strong energy partnership. Similarly, Mexico's request in January to swap 100,000 barrels a day of U.S. light crude oil and condensate in exchange for the heavier sour Mexican oil has also languished, receiving no decision yet from the Obama administration. While our closest neighbors have been kept in the dark on issues that directly impact their needs and our interest to create more U.S. jobs, the Obama administration has foolishly prioritized the Iran deal and yet another appeasement to what Director of National Intelligence James Clapper called an ongoing threat to U.S. national interest. Today, the three North American countries collectively produce 67% of the Western Hemisphere's crude oil production and 84% of the natural gas production. And after the United States and Canada, Mexico is the third largest oil producer in the Western Hemisphere and the 10th largest producer in the world. Mexico also ranks fourth in the world in shale gas reserves. Several recent discoveries of oil and gas in Mexico's northeast and in the deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico, shale and gas deposits along the U.S.-Mexico border, along with the development of unconventional resources in northern Mexico and in the Chicontepec Basin, if I pronounce that right, show great promise for Mexico. However, Mexico's oil and gas production have fallen over the years, with oil declining by over 1 million barrels a day from 2004 to 2014, and natural gas production failing to keep up with demand, requiring Mexico to import liquefied natural gas from the Middle East and pay nearly 4 times the rate in North America to meet its demand. In addition, Mexico's state-owned oil company, Pemex, has had near complete control over the energy sector in Mexico, preventing substantial foreign direct investment and crippling Mexico's competitiveness since Pemex's creation in 1938. According to the Wilson Center, prior to Mexico's energy reforms, even Cuba and North Korea had more open energy systems than Mexico, because Mexico has been the only country in the world with one single national oil company monopolizing the entire value chain in the oil and gas sectors. Changes clearly have been needed for some time in Mexico to address these issues, so I want to publicly commend Mexico's leadership in taking tough measures to pass energy reforms into law in 2013 and secondary laws implementing these reforms in 2014. This is arguably the most significant economic reform undertaken by Mexico since its entry into the North American Free Trade Agreement in 1994, and the U.S. Energy Information Administration has estimated that these energy reforms could result in a 75% higher long-term oil production rate for Mexico than it would have had before the reforms. This is a wonderful forecast for Mexico, and I want to see Mexico succeed above all expectations in these energy reforms. If done right, these reforms will allow Mexico's energy sector to thrive and prosper, and also enhance U.S. energy security by creating a more reliable source of energy from our closest southern neighbor. Nevertheless, there are certain issues that I believe are necessary to Mexico achieving sustainable results in these efforts. First, it's vital that Mexico not ignore the security situation, since many organized criminal groups operate in the very areas of where Mexico's greatest land, oil, and gas exploration opportunities are located. These criminal groups no longer deal only in drugs. They now also make billions of dollars in illegal mining, logging, extortion, and bunkering, including illegal sale of gas condensate and oil products. Pemex has even had lawsuits in U.S. federal courts against companies that allegedly illegally purchased stolen gas from the Mexico Las Zetas drug trafficking organization. In addition, I believe it's very important that Mexico ensure that it has broad public support for its energy reforms, addressing security, corruption, and impunity concerns, especially in the wake of recent escape of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman from a high security prison in Mexico, are vital to shoring up public support and attracting international investment. Private property and land rights issues are also very important and will need resolution in a way that protects individual liberties in order to prevent future social conflicts and continue to build public support for the energy reforms and enable continued progress in those reforms. Early results of Mexico's initial rounds of the historic bidding and awards last week have proven to be a mixed bag at best. The participation of 9 companies in the process and the eventual awards of only 2 of the 14 blocks showed some promise in this new chapter for Mexico. However, the experience is also a reminder of the need to balance Mexico's great energy potential with a clear, flexible, and transparent bid and award process. As author of the legislation in the 113th Congress to approve the U.S.-Mexico Transboundary Hydrocarbon Agreement, which became Public Law 113-67, I'm personally very excited about Mexico's energy future and the potential this has for growing North American energy market. It's my hope that by holding this hearing today, we may be able to bring more public awareness to the exciting changes in Mexico and positive impact these changes will have for the United States as a relationship with Mexico and North America in general. So in conclusion, Mexico's actions in opening its oil, natural gas, and power sectors to private investment and participation now allow a true energy partnership for the first time of North American countries, with the U.S. and Canada sharing technical expertise to assist Mexico in building technical and workforce capacity, and Mexico playing a new and important key role in efforts to achieve North American energy independence and prosperity. So with that, I look forward to hearing from our panel. I appreciate the witnesses being here today, and I now welcome to the committee, and I turn to the Ranking Member Sears for his opening statement.